Hi everyone, my name is Naomi and today we will be talking about Pato-chan and Nyukan and basically all kind of problems that's happening in the world. I learned about Pato-chan, a transgender woman who was being detained at Nyukan earlier this year on Twitter. And back in August, I joined a rally that was held in front of the Japanese embassy to demand Pato-chan's immediate release. Let me introduce you to Pato-chan. Pat. Her Japanese supporters call her Pato-chan, so I'll be calling her Pato-chan as well. Was born in the Philippines, and in 2015, she went to Japan to be with her father, who was ill, and after his passing, her visa expired, but she didn't want to go back to the Philippines because she's a transgender woman, and she didn't feel safe to go back. Then she was arrested during questioning by police. I'll be talking about issues with stop and search conducted by Japanese police, how it's like kind of xenophobic and everything in another video. So after the arrest, she was detained at Nukan from July 2019 and she did not receive hormonal treatment for 8 months, and she was in solitary confinement cell for 6 months. So these solitary confinement cells are for those who cause issues or problems. But Pato-chan did nothing. She told Nyukan that she's a transgender woman, and they put her there. Once she was out of the solitary confinement cell, she was moved to, regular room, but she was isolated. Other detainees usually share their rooms with other people, but she was completely alone. She was only allowed to go outside for 2 hours every day, whereas other detainees were allowed to do so for 6 hours. The detainees usually, hang out with other people, have holiday celebration, but Pato-chan was completely cut out from them. She couldn't join any of them. It is all because she told Nukan that she's a transgender woman. Nukan was mistreating her, harassing her, abusing her, not treating her as a human being. Okay, so I've been saying Nyukan, and you may be saying, what the heck is Nyukan? So Nyukan, Nyukan is the Immigration Bureau of Japan. They oversee foreigners who are in Japan and detain those who are overstaying. Though Nukan has had reports on both physically and sexually harassing, abusing, and using violence on detainees, not just on Pato-chan. Therefore, we're actually demanding Nukan to be abolished. I got to learn about Pato-chan through tweets and articles written and translated by Nami-san. She's been translating anything related to Pato-chan, so please follow her on Instagram and Twitter. She's amazing. I'll be linking her Twitter and Instagram account in the description below, so please go check that out. Through her Twitter, I actually learned that on October 1st, Pato-chan was granted provisional release, and on October 6th, she was released. Nami-san retweeted photos of Pato-chan outside of Nyukan with her supporters and friends, and I got to see her beautiful smile. I am so glad that she's out of Nyukan, but just reminding you that this is just a provisional release. Pato-chan may be sent back to the Philippines. What it truly means to be a transgender and ideas, philosophies, concepts, anything related to transgender and transgender activism, they're all like widely misunderstood in Japan. To be honest, transphobia is everywhere, and there are turfs, here in Canada, the States, Europe, everywhere. Hi JK, what's up? But for me, in Japan, I think it's more misunderstood, and people still don't know the differences between being a transgender and people who enjoy dressing as opposite sex. Actually, last year, one of the well-known universities for females, Ojanamizu Joshidaikaku, announced that they'll be accepting applications from transgender women. Yay, right? And boy, they got criticized hard. The argument people who were opposing to Ochanomi's Joshidaikaku's decision were, what if those transgender people harm, girls? Same old. Ugh. Let me make it clear. Trans lives matter. I stand with transgender people. You good? Do I have to repeat myself? You good? But yeah, props to Ochanomi's Joshidaikaku for doing what's right. Good for you, bitch. Anyways, going back to the rally that I joined in August, not only that we demanded Pato-chan and other detainees release, but also we demanded Nyukan to be abolished. Though we all know that it's not just about Nyukan.
While I'm here supporting Pat as a member of Young Japanese Canadians of Toronto, I thought I'd share a bit of my own personal connection to this issue. Nikkei, or people of Japanese ancestry, have been used by the Japanese corporations as a modern form of indentured labor. Under the revised 1989 immigration control law, Japanese descendants were invited to return to the ancestral homeland as migrant workers called dekasegi, only to be exploited and underpaid in dirty, dangerous, and demeaning working conditions. Like Pat, my relatives were amongst the thousands of Nikkei from the Philippines, Peru, Brazil, and other Latin American countries that left their homes for the sake of their families' well-being. Yet the Japanese government saw them as nothing more than a source of cheap labor, using them as pawns for their own capitalist gain.
It's about racism, xenophobia, homophobia, and transphobia permeated in Japan, and how other countries are not pressuring Japan to release those detainees, how the Philippine government is anti-LGBTQ, and how we are neglecting global poverty that leads to people seeking jobs outside of their country, which they may have to resort to illegal methods. This is not a singular issue. Behind Pato-chan's unfair detainment, we can see all the issues caused by capitalism, colonialism, imperialism, racism, and anti-LGBTQ mindset. We were all shocked when we learned what was and is happening at ICE detention center. But do we all know what's happening with immigration within our country? Do you know the immigration policy of your country? How likely your country is willing to help out other people? And how the detainees are being detained? Through Pato-chan, we can see issues with immigration, flawed system called nations, transphobia, global poverty, xenophobia, and, well, to be honest, all kinds of hate and ignorance and inequality and injustice. These are all big issues that we cannot tackle alone. We have to collectively fight against inequality, injustice, homophobia, and transphobia. I want to thank Nukan, my dear friend who was at the rally, who gave this powerful emotional speech, and all the organizers at the rally, and Nami-san, who've been teaching, letting me know what's happening with Pato-chan. I'll be keep fighting against Nukan and all sorts of phobia. I want to demand the Japanese government to grant Pato-chan permanent residency. Let her live safely. Let her be who she is and where she wants to be. I know that I'm being, opportunistic and idealistic, living in my dream world where we can all live, happily and safely in places that we want to be. I know, but if you have any, comments or thoughts, leave it in the comment section, please. Be civil. If not, I will delete your comments. So, anyways, this channel is basically like a commentary channel and things kind of all sorts, like movies and books and social justice and current issues. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification button, leave this video a like, follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Nami with a plat. I feel like a proper YouTuber right now. But yeah, go follow Nami-san, find my friend Nukan, and yeah, that's it for this video. I will see you in my next video. Okay, stay safe, kids. Bye.